Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Irvin, with another manga chapter review. This is going to be on Sachi-iro no One Room, chapter 41. Man, it's amazing how far we've gone with this series. It's one of my favorite series that I've enjoyed so far, and I've been reviewing it for a while. So if you haven't seen my first 40 videos on this series, go check them out. They're staggered out in my channel because I've been reviewing them as they come out. Before I continue though, a few things. If you haven't done so by now, make sure you do subscribe to my channel. There will be a giveaway starting on the 15th, so you don't want to miss that. Make sure you subscribe, get yourself some good stuff for free. Also, there is quite a bit of other chapter reviews and other series that I'm reviewing, like The Promised Neverland, which it's going to end this Sunday, and other stuff that I'll be reviewing as well. Lastly, guys, spoiler alert, I will talk about it in some detail. You guys have been warned. If you guys don't want to talk about it, then don't watch past this point. If you guys want to talk about it and want to talk more about it, then join the Discord and we can talk more about the series in the Discord. But other than that, you have been warned. Spoiler alert. Okay, man. Last we left off, Sachi kind of had a little panic attack, and let's kind of track back why she had the panic attack. Again, her mother, not the best person. Her mother is part of the worst of her parents. And she saw a news where they had found fingerprints of Sachi in her previous, home that she was at with Oni-san. So it kind of dawned to her, she's leaving evidence everywhere they go. There's evidence now because she's been touching stuff, they haven't been cleaning anything or anything like that. So they know that they have they're basically going to be finding her eventually. They have enough information to find her eventually. So she has kind of a little panic attack, and the detective tells her they should go out for some fresh air, and they do. So they leave. So they left, and the chapter 41 starts like that. Oni-san is at work with the other detective, and he busts out his phone and realizes that Oni-san is not in the house anymore. Now, obviously, the other detective's like, "You have a camera on your house? What the heck?" And he's like, "Well, I'm making sure that she's safe," and she's not, because she's not in the house. So he basically runs away, or starts running away, and the detective follows him and goes with him. And I don't know where they're gonna go, but they're going somewhere. The detective knows that at least his colleague is smart enough to take his phone, so I'm gonna guess they're going back home to get the other detective's phone so they can call him and see, "Hey, where the heck are you?" I don't know. Anyways, that whole thing just kind of panels back to Oni-san, sorry, not Oni-san, Sachi and the other detective. They ended up going to a shrine, and they go up the shrine, and they have this talk about gods. Sachi doesn't believe in gods. She doesn't believe in anything like that. She's been abused, and for years, not just by her parents, but not friends, but classmates and teacher, and everyone that she should have at least some level of trust has abused her verbally, sexually, physically. There's all kinds of abusement in her. So she doesn't believe in God. She doesn't believe that there can be a God. And the guy says, "Well, at least follow what I do." And some people do it just because of tradition, and some people do it because they believe. But you can do it just because you're watching me do it. So they throw a coin, they do a little small prayer, and that's it. He's like, "What did you wish for? What did you ask for to the gods?" She's like, "I didn't know I had to do that." And he's like, "Well, you should have." And then she has this little deep talk to herself in her mind, again reiterating the same things. How can she believe in a god? How can she follow a god? And then she kind of changes her mindset to, "God, if you're there, why is this happening?" Right? And I think that's a theological mindset that a lot of people reach in their lives. Is they see destruction, they see hate, and all this stuff happening in the world. Today being a very prime example of what's going on in the world, and we make that question, why God, right? We ask, well, even if you don't believe, some people, they might not even believe a bit. They might proclaim to be a follower of Christ, but they don't even actually believe. But they do reach a point where they ask, why God? And I think this reflects society so much, because Sachi is making the bigger questions that a lot of us will ask eventually in our lives. Is, if there was a God, why God, right? Why are you allowing all these things to happen to me, or to the world? So she's asking a pretty deep question that she might not get the answer, but if she does get the answer for it, I think she'll be more in peace of mind. Anyways, at the end of this chapter, the whole chapter ends with someone in the shrine shows up and says, "Hey, how you guys doing?" Essentially, and that's how the chapter ends. We don't know who this girl is. I don't think so, at least. She didn't look like a threat. It didn't look. She looked young, but older than Sachi, but young enough for not to. I don't think it's her mom. I don't think it's anyone they know. So I'm wondering why they're adding this character, but this girl showed up, and I guess in chapter 42, which is already released, we'll find out who she is. Anyways, guys, in a nutshell, this chapter really brought up more of Sachi's inner thoughts, but also humanizing her, right? We reached a point, I think like in chapter 28, 29, maybe 30, around that area, where Sachi she became very robotic, right? No feelings, stone cold person. And honestly, we knew that was a facade because she obviously has been abused. A lot of people do that. They shut down, and it's, they don't care about the world or of themselves or anything in the world, right? So now, as she is getting more comfortable in life, as she is getting closer to the person that she, I think, really loves, which is Oni-san, she is now experiencing feelings that maybe she just has never had, right? Like questioning God, stuff like that. That, if you're being abused, you just shut down everything. You don't believe in a God. You don't believe in love from your parents. You don't believe in trust from classmates. You don't believe that the teacher's going to do his job and not rape you. All that stuff that should be there for you. It's not there. So you just kind of shut down. And I think now she's finally getting these feelings. And that's why I think she's being kind of a bipolar character. It's because she doesn't know how to control all these feelings, right? She has all these thoughts, inner thoughts in herself, and she just doesn't know how to control it. She's never had an opportunity in life to be able to share her feelings, to be able to share what she feels and how she sees the world and how she sees people and how she thinks she should be treated and all that stuff. That was irrelevant back when she was being abused. So now that all this is coming up, she doesn't know how to control it. And I think that is what we're seeing now in her character. And we can dismiss a lot of stuff and be like, oh, she's just being a spoiled brat, right? But she's not being a spoiled brat. She has never been a spoiled brat, right? She never had the opportunity to be a spoiled brat. So she might be acting up a little bit, but that's just how she is learning to cope with what happened in her life. So, man, whew. What a chapter! I know people sometimes read these chapters and they just blow them off. But I personally love to see what the writer is trying to tell us in these chapters. And I really, although it was a short chapter, 25 pages, I really enjoyed this chapter. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this. Let me know your thoughts on this series. I know quite a bit of people in my channel has picked up this series because of me reviewing it. I think it is definitely one of those series that is very unappreciated as much as it should be. So if you haven't checked it out, read the series. It's great. It has a weird premises at the beginning, but once you actually start understanding what's going on, it kind of may eventually click. So great series. Go check it out. Out of 10, I'm putting this one at 8.5 for now. I don't think it deserves anything lower than that. There were some moments I thought maybe it does deserve lower, but at this point, I think it's 8.5. The writer's doing a good job, and I don't know if we're reaching close to an end or not. I really think that he can write a little bit more, but we'll see. Thank you again, guys. Comment, like, and share. Subscribe, and guys, like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.